Ladies, gentlemen, you want to know what really separates the successful from the rest. It's not talent, it's not money, it's not luck, it's hunger. That fire deep inside your soul that won't let you sleep, that won't let you quit, that won't let you settle for average. The successful, they don't just want it. They need it like they need air, like they need water, like they need to breathe. Everybody wants to be successful. Everybody wants the dream, but the truth is, most people aren't willing to suffer for it. They aren't willing to go through the pain, the rejection, the sacrifice, the loneliness, the grind. See, the successful, they show up when they're tired. They push forward when they're broken. They rise when life knocks them flat on their face. They understand that success isn't some magical moment. It's not one big break. It's not a lucky shot. It's a million small, invisible choices made every single day. When no one is watching, when no one is cheering, when no one believes. That's when champions are built. You want to know the difference. The rest talk, the successful do. While others are distracted, they're focused. While others complain, they're creating. While others are dreaming, they're working. They don't chase motivation. They build discipline. They don't fear failure. They embrace it. Because every loss is a lesson, every setback is a setup, and every delay is just fuel to the fire. You're not going to wake up one day and be successful by accident. You're going to have to bleed for it, fight for it, cry for it, lose sleep for it. You're going to have to give more than anyone else is willing to give, and go longer than anyone else is willing to go. That's the price, that's the cost. So the real question is, how bad do you want it? Are you willing to suffer? Are you willing to be misunderstood, to be doubted, to be alone in your pursuit? Because that's the price of greatness. The world doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you demand from it with your effort, your persistence, your will. The successful don't stop when they're tired. They stop when they're done. When the job is finished, when the mission is complete, and that's what separates them from everyone else. Not talent, not privilege, not luck, just hunger, discipline, and an unbreakable will. That's what it takes. That's what makes the difference, and that's what will make you unstoppable. Success has never belonged to the most talented. It never bowed down to the most gifted. It doesn't recognize how many degrees you have, how perfectly you speak, or how naturally things come to you. Success listens to hunger. It moves for those who are starving for it, those who wake up every day with fire in their eyes, not just desire in their hearts. Because talent without hunger is wasted potential. But hunger, even in the absence of talent, has the power to break down walls, to outlast doubt, and to rise above average. Hunger is different. It's not casual. It doesn't come and go. It burns constantly. It haunts you. It follows you into your dreams, whispers to you in your quiet moments, and screams at you when you try to relax. It doesn't allow you to stay comfortable. It doesn't tolerate procrastination. When you're truly hungry for success, your mind refuses to settle. You begin to see every second of the day as an opportunity. You start valuing time like it's oxygen, because when you're hungry, you don't waste what you know you need. The world is filled with people who are more talented than the ones who made it, more skilled than the ones who got the spotlight. But talent without hunger is like a sports car with no fuel. It might look powerful, it might even sound intimidating, but it's going nowhere. On the other hand, hunger is that inner engine that never quits. It's what pushes people to train at midnight, to study while others sleep, to work when no one's watching and nothing seems to be paying off. It's what drives a person to get up again after life punches them in the face. You see, people often assume that the successful were just born with something special. But if you look deeper, you'll find that what made them different wasn't in their DNA. It was in their decisions. It was in their hunger. They weren't just chasing dreams. They were chasing survival. For them, success wasn't optional. It wasn't a luxury. It was a necessity, something they had to have. And when you treat success like something you need to breathe, you approach everything differently. You stop making excuses, you stop blaming circumstances, you stop looking for a way out, and instead you dig in and fight. The hungry don't care about odds, they don't look at the statistics. They don't care how many people failed before them. Because hunger ignores logic. Hunger doesn't need guarantees. It feeds off hope. It thrives on challenge, and it transforms ordinary people into forces that cannot be stopped. That's why the hungry often outperform the talented, because hunger is consistent. Talent shows up when it feels like it. Hunger shows up every day. It's easy to want something. Everybody wants success at some point. Everybody says they want to win, but the truth is, most people only want it when it's convenient. They want it when it's easy. They want it when it doesn't cost them sleep, time, peace, or comfort. But hunger doesn't wait for the right time. Hunger doesn't ask if you're tired. Hunger doesn't accept later as an answer. It keeps knocking, it keeps pulling, and it demands action. Some people walk into a room and wait to be noticed. The hungry walk into the room and own it. Some people wait for the perfect conditions. The hungry create the conditions. Some people need applause to move. The hungry move in silence. Hunger is the difference between talking about what you're going to do and actually doing it. It's the difference between setting goals and attacking them with every breath in your body. Hunger makes you uncomfortable with where you are, even when things are going well. It keeps you stretching, reaching, pushing. It won't let you settle. It doesn't matter how high you climb, hunger will always show you another level. That's why the hungry never stop growing. They're not comparing themselves to others. They're competing with their own potential. They're chasing the best version of themselves every single day. The ones who succeed at the highest level don't wait for life to hand them an opportunity. They show up hungry and take it. They don't ask for permission. They don't fear rejection. They don't slow down because the path is difficult. They see the challenge, feel the weight, and keep moving anyway. Because to them, there is no plan B, there is no safety net, it's do or die, win or be forgotten, and when you live with that kind of intensity, with that kind of fire, there is nothing that can stop you. Motivation feels good, it's exciting, it gives you a spark, it pushes you to start, but here's the truth, motivation is temporary, it fades, it comes and goes like a wave. Sometimes strong, sometimes weak, and sometimes not there at all. That's why the people who rely solely on motivation never make it. They only show up when they feel like it. They only give their best when the conditions are perfect. But success doesn't wait for the perfect moment. It doesn't care if you're inspired or in the mood. Success answers only to one thing: discipline. Discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done even when you don't want to do it. It's waking up at 5 a.m. when your body begs for more sleep. It's going to the gym when your muscles ache. It's writing that page, making that call, showing up for that job, even when your energy is gone and your mind is exhausted. Discipline is what remains when motivation disappears, and that's what separates the successful from everyone else. They don't wait for inspiration, they act from commitment. Discipline doesn't need to be loud. It doesn't ask for attention. It works silently, consistently, every single day. It's that voice inside you that says, I made a promise to myself, and I'm going to keep it. It doesn't care how you feel, it cares about what you've decided. And that's what real strength looks like. Not hype, not noise, not fake excitement, but quiet, focused, consistent effort. The people at the top didn't get there because they were always pumped up. They got there because they trained their minds to do what needed to be done, no matter what. They turned hard work into a habit. They built systems. They structured their lives around their goals, and while the rest of the world was searching for another motivational video, another feel, good quote, another burst of inspiration, they were working. They were moving forward. They were building something that couldn't be shaken by feelings. Discipline is uncomfortable. It's not glamorous. It doesn't come with applause or instant results. It's early mornings, late nights, lonely hours. It's doing the boring things, the difficult things, the repetitive things over and over again. But those things are what build greatness. They're what sharpen your skills, forge your mindset, and separate you from everyone who gave up too soon. People confuse discipline with punishment, but it's actually freedom. Because when you're disciplined, you don't have to depend on how you feel. You don't waste time negotiating with your emotions, you just do the work. And that consistency gives you control, it gives you momentum, it gives you results, it allows you to grow when others plateau. It allows you to move when others stall, and eventually it puts you so far ahead that catching up is no longer possible. Success is not about doing big things once. It's about doing the right things daily, even when they seem small and insignificant. Discipline is showing up again and again and again until what once felt hard becomes your new standard. It's grinding through the days that feel pointless, trusting that every step forward is building something bigger than you can see. When you build discipline, you become dangerous because now you're not controlled by your mood. You're not thrown off by obstacles. You're not waiting for motivation to rescue you. You've trained yourself to act, to move, to rise, regardless of the circumstances. You show up whether it's raining or shining, whether you're celebrated or ignored, whether you're winning or losing. That's real power. That's what winners are made of. Every successful person has days where they don't want to do it. Days where their energy is gone, their confidence is low, and their motivation is zero. But they show up anyway, they do the work, and that's what makes all the difference. Because over time, that discipline compounds. It builds momentum, resilience, and character. And in the end, those habits will carry you far beyond what motivation ever could. Pain is the price. It's not optional. It's not a punishment. It's the entry fee for greatness. If you want success, if you truly want to rise to a level where most people never reach, you must be willing to suffer. Not just once, not just a little, but deeply, consistently, and without complaint. This is the truth that most people run from. They want the glory without the grind, the reward without the sacrifice, the spotlight without the shadows. But it doesn't work that way. Every champion, every legend, every great story was written in pain. Pain comes in many forms. It might be physical exhaustion, mental fatigue, emotional rejection, or spiritual emptiness. It might be watching others pass you by, doubting yourself when nothing is working, or feeling completely alone in your pursuit. But those who reach the top understand something powerful. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is the path. It's the struggle that shapes you. It's the resistance that builds your strength. Just like muscles grow through tension and tearing, your character grows through pressure and discomfort. The ones who make it don't escape pain, they embrace it. They don't try to go around it, they go through it. They understand that pain is the process of transformation. It's what turns weakness into resilience, doubt into confidence, and fear into fire. Most people feel pain and stop. They quit, retreat, or look for an easier route. But the successful, they feel that same pain and push harder. They learn to breathe through it, to move with it, to let it fuel their hunger. Success demands sacrifice. It asks you to give up comfort, convenience, and sometimes even connection. There will be nights where you're alone, mornings when no one believes in you, and long days when your only company is silence. That's when pain shows up, not to break you, but to test your commitment. To ask you one simple question: how bad do you want it? Because if you want it bad enough, you'll endure what others won't. You'll keep going when the finish line is nowhere in sight. You'll bleed for the goal, cry in the dark, and still show up the next day. You will be misunderstood. You will be judged. You will lose people along the way. Friends may disappear. Support may fade. Doors will close in your face, and you will have to keep walking, wounded, tired, and uncertain. But that's part of it. That's the pain that purifies your purpose. It strips away the noise, the ego, the excuses, and leaves you with the raw truth of who you are. It exposes what you're made of, and if you can survive that, if you can keep moving in the face of that kind of pain, you become unstoppable. Pain also teaches humility. It reminds you that you're not entitled to anything. That success is earned, not given. It humbles your ego and grounds your focus. It shows you that no matter how talented you are, how hard you work, or how clear your vision is, nothing comes without cost. There's no shortcut, no hack, no cheat code, just a long road filled with obstacles, setbacks, and hardship. And that's where the real transformation happens. What pain really does is separate the committed from the curious. Everyone is interested in success until it hurts, until it becomes uncomfortable, until it demands more than they expected. That's when people quit. That's when the crowd thins, but not you, because you understand now pain is part of the contract. If you want what others don't have, you must be willing to do what others won't do, and that means walking straight into the fire when every part of you wants to run. Every story of success has a chapter that hurts. Every breakthrough was preceded by a breakdown. Behind every victory is a battle most never saw. So when pain shows up on your journey, don't run, don't hide, welcome it, learn from it. Let it sharpen you, mold you, and burn away the parts of you that aren't ready for greatness. This is the path. It's hard, it's heavy, it's painful, but it's worth it. Because what you become through the pain is someone no one can take down, not circumstances, not failure, not even fear. You become someone who's not just chasing success, but earning it one painful, powerful step at a time. Everyone talks about what they want. Everyone has a dream. Everyone has a goal written somewhere, saved in a journal, posted on a wall, or stored in the back of their mind. But dreams alone don't move mountains. Talking doesn't build empires. Ideas don't change lives unless they're followed by action. That's the difference. That's the line that separates those who achieve from those who only wish. It's execution. The world doesn't reward your intentions. It rewards what you do. While others are busy explaining why they can't, the successful are busy figuring out how they will. Most people never run out of dreams. They run out of action. They keep talking about what they're going to do one day. They tell themselves they're waiting for the right time, the right opportunity, the right feeling, but that right time never comes. It's a lie that keeps them still. The successful understand something different. There is no perfect moment. There is only now. Action taken today beats perfection delayed until tomorrow. While the rest are stuck in thought, the successful are already moving. While others are debating their plan, the successful are testing, learning, failing, and improving in real time. Success doesn't happen by accident. It's not a result of good intentions. It's not born from talking about how hard you're going to work. It's built through hours of silent labor, of relentless effort that often goes unnoticed. Real achievement comes from putting your head down and doing the work, whether or not you feel like it, whether or not anyone's watching. Because execution doesn't need applause, it only needs consistency. It's what you do when no one's around that defines how far you'll go. The successful don't just set goals. They chase them like their life depends on it. They don't talk about waking up early. They get up before the sun and start working. They don't dream about being great. They put in the reps, make the calls, show up again and again, until greatness is no longer a dream, but a result. The rest want the outcome without the effort. They want the praise without the pain, but the successful know that the grind comes first and the results come later. Excuses are easy. You can always find a reason to delay, to wait, to blame, to quit. The weather wasn't right, the timing wasn't right, someone didn't believe in you, something didn't go your way. The truth is, the world doesn't care about your excuses. It only responds to what you produce. The successful have the same problems, the same obstacles, the same moments of doubt, but they push forward anyway. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They create progress in imperfect ones. That's what execution looks like. The ones who rise don't waste time comparing themselves to others. They don't need validation. They don't get distracted by noise. They stay focused on their lane, their work, their vision. They take one step, then another, until the distance between them and everyone else becomes impossible to ignore. It's not because they're better, it's because they did more, they acted while others talked. They built while others planned, they executed while others hesitated. Ideas are worthless without action. You can have the best plan in the world, but if you never move, it's meaningless. Action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Every day you delay, you stay exactly where you are. But every time you take even a small step forward, you create momentum. That momentum becomes progress. That progress becomes results. And those results become unstoppable confidence. Discipline fuels execution. It's what gets you out of bed when you're tired, keeps you moving when you're discouraged, and pulls you forward when the path gets rough. The successful don't rely on inspiration. They rely on discipline. They understand that showing up and doing the work matters more than feeling good. That progress doesn't always feel exciting, and most of the growth happens in silence when no one is cheering you on. But they do it anyway because they're not chasing attention, they're chasing mastery. People remember those who do, not those who almost did. The world is filled with unfinished projects, lost potential, abandoned dreams. But history remembers those who took action, followed through, and finished. That's what separates the successful from everyone else. Not ideas, not dreams, not promises. Just relentless, disciplined, consistent execution. That's it. Failure is inevitable. No one escapes it. No one reaches success without first falling flat, being rejected, being told no, being laughed at, being underestimated, being ignored, and sometimes being broken. But what separates the successful from the rest is not that they avoid failure, it's that they use it. They turn failure into fuel. While most people get knocked down and stay down, the successful use every hit as a reason to rise even harder. They don't run from failure, they learn from it, grow through it, and come back stronger because of it. Every great story is filled with moments of defeat. Every powerful journey is marked by setbacks. The people who make it to the top were not always winning. In fact, they were often losing more than anyone else. But they saw something in the loss that most people miss. They saw the opportunity to evolve. They didn't let failure define their worth. They used it to redefine their strategy. When the door closed, they built a new one. When the plan failed, they rewrote it. When people doubted them, they kept working in silence until results spoke louder than words ever could. Failure has a way of stripping away illusions. It reveals who you are when everything is taken from you. It tests your ego, your patience, your commitment. Most people fail once and give up. They tell themselves, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe this wasn't meant to be. But the successful hear those same voices and keep going anyway. They use failure as a mirror, not a wall. They ask, what can I learn? Instead of, why did this happen to me? They take responsibility, they analyze the loss, they adjust, and they go again. You cannot grow without pressure. You cannot reach new levels without being pushed past your limits, and failure is part of that push. It humbles you. It slows you down long enough to reflect. It breaks your rhythm just enough to reset your mindset. In that space between who you were and who you're becoming, failure is doing its work, not to destroy you, but to shape you, to mold you into someone who can handle success when it comes, because success without failure is fragile. It collapses at the first sign of trouble, but success built on the back of failure is strong, grounded, and lasting. The most dangerous person in the world is the one who has failed and kept going, because nothing intimidates them anymore. They've already been laughed at, they've already been ignored, they've already lost, so now they move with quiet power. They no longer fear what might go wrong, because they've already survived it. That mindset, that level of mental toughness, is forged only through failure. No book, no speech, no motivational quote can give you that. Only life can, only the grind can. Only the losses that break your heart can teach you that kind of strength. Failure also forces you to face your weaknesses. It reveals the gaps in your preparation, the flaws in your thinking, the areas you've been avoiding, and that's a gift. Because once you see it, you can fix it. You can improve. You can sharpen your tools. You can become more focused, more deliberate, more powerful. Every failure has a lesson inside it, but most people are too focused on the pain to find it. The successful dig deep. They feel the pain, but they don't stay stuck in it. They extract the lesson and turn the pain into purpose. You must understand, failure doesn't mean stop. It means adjust. It means evolve. It means get smarter. The path to success is rarely a straight line. It's full of turns, detours, breakdowns, and unexpected challenges. But each failure is like a checkpoint, not the finish line. It's a signal to regroup, not a signal to quit. Those who can endure failure without losing their drive become unstoppable. Because every time they fall, they rise with more clarity, more fire, more strength. Rejection, criticism, and defeat are not the end of the road. They're part of the journey. They are not signs that you're failing. They're signs that you're trying. That you're stretching, that you're doing something that matters. The only real failure is standing still, quitting, letting fear win. But if you keep moving, even with bruises, even with doubt, even with a trail of losses behind you, then failure is not your enemy. It's your coach, your ally, your greatest teacher, and with that mindset, nothing can stop you. Success is not just about how you perform when things are going well. It's about how you respond when everything goes wrong. The truly successful are not those who never face storms. They are the ones who learn to remain calm and focused in the middle of chaos. When others panic, they stay steady. When others complain, they stay disciplined. When others give up, they keep moving. Mental toughness is the weapon that keeps them in the fight when everything around them screams for them to quit. It's easy to be confident when you're winning. It's easy to stay positive when you're ahead. But life doesn't always go according to plan. Business slows down, people betray you, results don't show up as fast as expected. That's when most people fold. They start doubting themselves, they start second-guessing their decisions, they lose control of their mindset and let fear, stress, or frustration take over. But the ones who make it, the ones who separate themselves, are those who train their minds to stay calm under pressure. They've built resilience not by avoiding hardship, but by facing it head on and refusing to let it break them. Mental toughness isn't about being emotionless. It's not about pretending nothing hurts. It's about choosing not to let emotions control your actions. It's the ability to think clearly even when the pressure is crushing. It's the power to keep your standards high even when your motivation is low. Mental toughness is waking up tired and still showing up. It's hearing criticism and not letting it define you. It's failing and still believing in yourself. It's looking at a mountain of obstacles and saying, I'm going through anyway. The greatest performers, the elite leaders, the true legends, what sets them apart isn't just talent, it's mindset. It's the voice in their head that tells them to keep pushing when nothing makes sense. It's the discipline to stick to the routine when results aren't showing. It's the focus to block out noise, to silence doubt, to tune into their purpose while the world tries to distract them. That level of control isn't natural, it's trained. Built day by day, decision by decision, failure by failure, mental strength is not inherited. It's forged. It's built in the gym when no one's watching. It's built in the late night study sessions. It's built in the lonely hours of practice. It's built when you feel like quitting but keep going anyway. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, every time you keep your word when no one else is holding you accountable, you're building that inner armor. That armor protects you when things go wrong. It holds you together when the world tries to tear you apart. Mental toughness also means taking responsibility for your life, not blaming, not complaining, not waiting for someone to fix it. It's looking in the mirror and saying, if it's going to happen, it's up to me. It's not about waiting for the perfect circumstances. It's about creating the right mindset regardless of circumstances. Tough-minded people don't expect the path to be easy. They expect resistance. They plan for pressure, and when it comes, they don't get weaker. They get sharper. There's a quiet power in being mentally strong. It's not loud. It doesn't need to prove itself. It shows up in how you handle stress, how you speak to yourself in hard moments, how you treat others when you're under pressure. It shows up in your habits, your reactions, your decisions. When others are breaking down, you're still standing. When others are distracted, you're focused. When others quit, you push further. That's what it means to be mentally tough. Not being fearless, but being braver than your fear. In the end, it's your mindset that will carry you through the darkest seasons. Talent can take you far, but it's mental toughness that keeps you there. You'll face moments where nothing is working, where it feels like the world is against you, where your vision is cloudy and your energy is gone. And it's in those moments that your training kicks in, your habits, your discipline, your belief. That's when you realize that everything you've been building inside your mind is now carrying you across terrain most people would never survive. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your mindset. That's why the most successful people are not just smart, not just driven, but mentally unshakable, because they've learned that storms don't last forever. But strong minds do. Success isn't reserved for the lucky. It's earned by those who are relentless, disciplined, and unshakable. The ones who rise to the top don't have fewer problems. They simply have greater purpose. They endure pain, execute without excuses, embrace failure, and stay mentally tough when the world expects them to break. They don't just talk about what they want. They live it, breathe it, bleed for it. What separates the successful from the rest is not talent, background, or luck. It's the unwavering decision to never give up, to keep showing up, and to do whatever it takes no matter how hard it gets. In the end, success doesn't belong to the loudest voice. It belongs to the most consistent, the most committed, and the most courageous. The question is, how bad do you want it?